We'll start with the bad advice. Don't follow your passion. It feels like everyone else is ahead and somewhat more certain about who they are and the decisions that they've made in their lives. It feels like everyone else knows something that I don't, about how to make decisions, about how to live a good life and how to make decisions that you don't regret. It feels like everyone else might say that they're lost, but their shiny lives prove otherwise. It feels like there's something I'm just not getting about how to live a life that I'm comfortable with. You know, I've reached a dead end so many more times than I've ever felt like I'm on my path, and so many more times I've questioned if there even is a path for me to be on. I think your lostness is not wrong, and I think you're right if you feel like it's harder than ever before to make decisions. So our overwhelm is really coming from the information age and an era of post-truth. We have so many beautiful choices and none of them make biological sense, and half of them may not even be true. Let me show you something. So, what decision are you trying to settle on right now? Is it whether to stay in your 9-to-5 job? Is it whether to gamble your savings on traveling like you're probably craving? Whatever it is, I can almost guarantee that it's not to do with life or death. Probably because you wouldn't have the time, energy or space to sit here and watch this right now, but also because we have inbuilt navigation for these decisions. We have a primal sense, an intuition like a wolf scenting its way when it comes to life or death matters. We have instincts for desires like hunger and sleep and relationships and safety and shelter. But most of the decisions that we're asked to make today are abstract. Most of the directions that we're asked to choose to follow make no biological sense. We have no primitive guidance associated with travel or career. Almost biologically impossible to make decisions for a future self associated with a society that doesn't even exist yet. We are wired to survive in an organic ecosystem, not to hypothesize over every decision that we ever make in our lives. Can you see how many tiny, infinitesimal, impossible threads ripple out from every decision that we make? We have the blessing and the curse of being able to know each of these threads. It's too much. The age of information not only exposes us to too much information than we can handle, but it also exposes us to information that's too abstract for our biology to understand. Life feels messy because it really is. It might feel like you can't make the right decision because there no longer is one. It's not a matter of life or death anymore. It's based on predicting our future on a small decision made today, accurately enough that we might not negatively impact a version of ourselves in a societal structure, neither of which even exists yet, but of which we can know. It's too much. We have too much to think about. Perhaps we have decision fatigue. Perhaps the decisions we're asked to make just don't make sense to our biology. Perhaps it's overwhelming to our systems. And other people, you don't need me to tell you that they have not got it figured out. I hope this video alone is enough to show you we really all feel the same. What follows is a little bit of bad advice and a little bit of good advice when it comes to making a decision in the middle of chaos. We'll start with the bad advice. Don't follow your passion. Following your passion will probably make you even more lost, because sometimes you're passionate about everything and sometimes you're passionate about nothing. I will do a whole other video on this, but the idea of one singular passion is a construct of the human imagination and the human desire to be guided through chaos. We like to think that we have this savior passion that so long as we tap into it, it will guide us through the mess and save us from misery. A singular passion doesn't exist, and a passion is a result of your ecosystem at the time. So don't purely rely on finding a passion to follow. And the second piece of bad advice, Don't follow what lights you up, like the spiritual self-help community says. Because in reality, we have things that we need to immediately take care of, like bills or like caring for a family member. But above all, we mostly don't know what lights us up. If we wait for something to light us up, we'll be waiting for a while. And being lit up by something, in the end, can be really hard to pry apart from what we're genuinely lit up by and what are false interests. And now the good advice. I'd say the best piece of advice I've ever been given was, don't follow advice from someone who's not in a position that you ever want to be in. You don't want to be guided by the energy and the situation that doesn't match where you want to go. And another piece of advice would be maybe to choose something that gives you some immediate results, so you can at least move forward, so you can at least know if that was kind of the right direction or kind of the wrong direction. Just choose something. Action is better than nothing. And another piece of unusual advice is just follow the crowd. Follow the crowd, because mostly it will be what you don't want. Because mostly the crowd will be doing what you don't want, and in that you come to understand what you don't want. And this is polarity. From understanding what you don't want, you can move closer to what you do want. So maybe follow the crowd for a little while and let them show you what annoys you the most. And another piece of advice, the first step, just make a decision. Any decision. Make it low stake. Make it so there's not something at risk. Allow it to be messy and make it small. Just repeat over and over. Make any decision, make it low stake. Allow it to be messy. Make it small. And I want to remind you that there really is only one decision. There's only one decision. You either move forward or you stay where you are. That's the only option.